Hello, hi there. Thank you so much for tuning into the Michelle Got Goals podcast, episode number 2. On this podcast, we discuss the journey of entrepreneurship, the goals we set as entrepreneurs trying to build a business, and how we go about them. As I mentioned in my previous episode, I'm hoping for this to become like a small community of entrepreneurs trekking along, doing what they need to actually work in their business, not just working on their business, as they say, right? So, in my first episode, I gave you a little overview on my journey so far as an entrepreneur. I told you about how I quit my job in 2014 when my son was done with high school and said, "Now it's time for my goals." Well, didn't all work out as I had planned or hoped. So here I am, still working a full-time job. Totally pivoted my business in 2019 to only consulting and basically training on import compliance. And last year I started putting together courses in an online format. So that's really where I'm trying to go with my business, providing courses online. Um, and yes, I do have some consulting work that I do on the side. So that pays my bills right now, my business bills, which is not much these days. And I work full time. And I know I'm not the only one who works full time, but has aspirations of building their own business. You know, after 20 plus years in the industry, you see certain things and you think you can, provide services that are kind of missing out there. And that's me. I would like to provide importer training to small businesses that import and may not have a trade compliance team. They fall a little bit to the wayside with their needs as an importer, and that's what I'm here for, to make sure they understand the basics, streamline their processes, and make them more compliant while doing all that, right? So that's what I'm working on, building a business where I provide training on a via an online platform, right? So I do have my basics training out there that you can download. I worked on a more in-depth training that I wanted to upload, but I just changed my mind and I will convert it into a 6-week basically lunch and learn session. So it's going to be me guiding the importers through the training with the help of my online portal, and just see how it goes, get all the feedback. And once I collected feedback and have people, see what type of questions they still have or what they might not understand, once I got all that together, then I will upload it onto my portal as a training that you can unload and take at your own leisure, right? So that's what I've been working on. When we left last week, I told you my goals are working on my LinkedIn and networking. So let me tell you how that went this past week. Networking, I've been doing a whole lot. Luckily now, with it being summertime here in Michigan, many chamber of commerces and just international business associations have been putting on events, mostly outside. So there is an opportunity right now to go get yourself out there and mingle, right? Me myself, I'm a pretty shy person, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast as well. I'm just really trying to be more intentional about where I would like to go instead of always living in my own shadow and ideas. So networking is really hard for myself. I really have to pump myself up. I tell myself, you know what, Michelle, there's a reason why you're going. You're building this business. In order for the business to thrive, you need customers. And many of these customers are at these international networking events, because if you run into CEO, general manager, branch manager, office secretary of a European manufacturer here in Michigan, chances are their company imports, right? So those are the people that I should be meeting. So I really have to pump myself up and tell myself, you belong, there's a reason. And if you go and you don't speak to anybody during this network, event, you just wasted $60 on some hors d'oeuvres. We don't have money for that. So that's what I do to try and further my business. And I would love to hear from you. What do you do? How do you set these goals? Do you know where you can meet your niche customer, your target audience? Let's say if I was a life coach, I might be more active on Instagram. If I was a creative and I made purses, I probably would be on Etsy and Pinterest. But I'm a professional, and professionals are found at networking events and LinkedIn, right? So that's why LinkedIn is a big focus. And we touched on it last week, and I told you guys that I bought a LinkedIn course and I've been slacking on it. And I'm still slacking on it. I improved my site. I'm active on a regular basis, but I haven't really looked at every module yet. So what this lady does is every week she drops a new module and you work through it by yourself. You can reach out to her through her LinkedIn group, but it's really self-study. So she drops it, and I haven't been looking at the past couple of weeks. But it is, again, on my goal list. Absolutely, LinkedIn is important to my business. I have to get the word out about what I'm doing. So what I also have been working on, speaking of getting the word out, my website showed to be not secure. I don't know how long it has been showing that. So I talked to my friend and I said, hey, my website shows not to be secure. What does that mean? And she said, oh, you need an SSL cert. I said, an SSL cert? Some of you might feel the pain. As a small business owner, you have to run and do everything yourself, unless you have the cash flow to pay people for it. And to me, then also, sometimes you pay people and they're just not the right people. Different episode, different story. Honest, I know. But you probably know the pain of how do I add this SSL cert now to my website. Some of you will think, oh, that's easy, Michelle. Yeah, I thought it would be easy. But the way my website was set up with one company and it's hosted by another, and they, I guess, don't click. So I had to prove that I was authorized to add this SSL certificate. And GoDaddy had these contact emails from me that were not even legit. And so I even called GoDaddy. He said, well, we just put contact emails that would be, that are very common. I said, what? Why wouldn't you put the contact email up there that I used when I signed up? It was a mess. Somehow it worked. I don't even know what I did. But eventually, all of a sudden, I got an email that it went through. I'm like, okay, not going to fight it. So now you can go on my business website and it's secure. And of course, it's important because in my newsletter, I refer to my website, So it's the basis of my business. So my website is now secure. So I've been working on that. I had been working on a pretty big course, a compliance course that I was going to upload onto my portal. So I had to, talk, upload it, record myself and everything. But I changed my mind now. I'm not just going to upload that course. I'm going to offer it as a lunch and learn. 6 weeks working this course with myself, guiding you through it as a lunch and learn, so I can do it during my own lunch as well. So, because I thought this way I get people's feedback and I see where they have hang-ups, where they might have questions, and I can adjust accordingly. And once I work through the course with some people, I have a better feeling for the course. I can complete it and then I can upload it to the portal where people can access it at any time, buy it, download it, and work it for their own, own needs and company. So that's what I've been working on. So I've been working on, I scheduled my social media and newsletter posts. I'd be sitting here till like 10, 11 o'clock at night just working, making sure the posts look okay, make sure I don't forget a hashtag, test how it looks when they click on this and click on that. I'm not good at any of that. My newsletter, I could use help with. And again, once my business has a little cash flow, I will find myself a VA that can help me with these tasks. make the newsletter look a little more presentable. And I do use Constant Contact, I believe, and of course they have templates that I use, and I have flyers that I had somebody on Fiverr make for myself about my course offerings. And I'm actually also offering a Q&A session for anybody that's interested in talking to a licensed customs broker, has some questions about the basics of importing or on the offerings of my business. I did create that flyer myself and another flyer in Canva just because having somebody on Fiverr also adds up, right? We have cash flow to consider right here. So those are the things that I've been working on. I have been networking, pumping myself up, paying those fees to mingle with these international business folks. I've been working, I've been steady on being on LinkedIn on a regular basis, communicating with people, reading posts, replying to posts. When I do go to these networking events, I do usually reach out to people that I have met the next day and just send them a short note like, hey, we met yesterday during this Chamber of Commerce event at this beautiful mansion and had some yummy hors d'oeuvres. Was so good talking to you. Let's connect. And usually, they reply back. And so that's been going well. I'm increasing my contacts. I'm being more active and visible on LinkedIn. And so we've been doing that. And yeah, I think that was pretty much my work week, my business work week, including my website that I'm working on. Today I have my bi-weekly accountability group that I run. So that helps me with keeping on tracks with most of my goals. And so my goals for the next week remains LinkedIn because I have not been working on the course that I paid so much money for. So LinkedIn and getting the word out on my course that's coming up. And what's the best way to do that? Because I cannot make cold calls during the day. I work. So I cannot call. So I'm actually thinking about having somebody make calls for me if they so inclined to do so and just pay them a fee per person that they do attract. Let's see. But those are the things that I'm thinking about. Us as entrepreneurs, we're always thinking, planning, setting these goals, working on the goals. And my goal for this next week will be LinkedIn, getting the word out about my courses and Q&A session. I also sent the information to a professional women's group that I belong to. They're sometimes a little slow with sending out their newsletter. A perk of being a member of that group is for them to share your newsletter. So it's been 2 or 3 days now. Third day, it's not out yet. So I'm probably going to have to follow up. Sometimes they overlook them. It's a small, informal business group, but they help. A lot of my previous business setup, I got a lot of customers through them because, us women like to stick together. So it's a good women's networking business group. So those are my goals, getting the word out on my upcoming courses, upcoming Lunch and Learn course, working on my LinkedIn, see what she has to say. I know I saw one of the upcoming modules is about scheduling your posts in advance, which of course I do because I cannot function any other way. I have to do it at nighttime and then I just, put the date and time on it for it to actually go out while I'm working. So we're blessed to have so many features that we can work with as entrepreneurs. And yeah, you let me know. Again, this is a community. I want to hear about your journey. How are you? What are you doing to reach your goals in your small business? We can catch up Of course, I have a website, michellegotgoals.com, and my handles on YouTube and Instagram are Michelle_got_goals. All right, till next week. Let's reach our goals together.